Hello friends, and welcome to my new video. In today's video I will be talking about some of my favorite murder mysteries and suspense thrillers and psychological thrillers which I feel are not fully appreciated and haven't got the kind of recognition they should have got. So basically I will be talking about 10 films of my choice which I think are underrated thrillers, underrated suspense movies. The first movie I want to talk about is a 1974 movie, I think, 74 it came out in, and it's called Chattisgarh and directed by Raj Tilak and has Rajkumar, Mala Sinha, Sunil Dutt, Ranjit, Danny, and Parveen Babi in the lead roles. Chattisgarh is taken from an English movie called Desperate Hours, which had Frederick March and Humphrey Bogart essaying the lead roles. Now, this one, although copied from an English movie, adapted from an English movie, is very well made and is a gripping and suspenseful movie which keeps you hooked on throughout. It doesn't slacken pace at all, and is a movie which has sadly been ignored by most people. It's a wonderful movie, and in case you haven't seen it, I think it's a must-watch. Chhattisgarh, directed by Raj Tilak, a great movie. Next, I want to talk about a movie which came out in 1997 and is called Choop, and it has Jitendra, Om Puri and Soumi Ali in the lead roles. On first glance, it'll look quite similar to B.R. Chopra's suspense movie Ittifaq, which had Rajesh Khanna and Nanda in the lead roles. This too initially looks similar to that, with an escaped convict taking shelter in the house of a woman who has murdered her husband. And then what happens is what Choop is all about. But it's quite different from Ittifaq, and there are lots of twists and turns in the movie which are bound to take you by surprise. As far as I remember, Choop was a songless thriller. I don't think this movie had any songs in it, and that's an advantage because it sort of keeps the movie pacey, and it doesn't get boring at any given point in time. It's a well-made movie. It's a gripping taut thriller starring Jitendra, Om Puri and Soumi Ali. Choop, directed by Amrish Sangal, is a must-watch if you haven't seen it till now. The next movie in my list is a 1973 movie directed by B.R. Chopra, and according to me, one of the finest murder mysteries made in Hindi cinema. It's Dhund, starring Sanjay Khan, Zeenat Aman, Danny, and Naveen Nishchal. I think it's a very clever murder mystery. It's based on a play. I'm not sure, but I think it was an Agatha Christie story which was made into a play. I'm not 100% sure of the author, whether it was Christie or not. But all the same, as a Hindi movie, as a murder mystery, it's one of the better murder mysteries made in Hindi cinema, with superlative performances by Danny, Zeenat Aman, and the others as well. But Danny's performance really stands out as the vengeful, hateful, spiteful husband who's an invalid, and he's superb in the movie. And the mystery itself is quite a deep one, and it's bound to take the viewer by surprise when it's watched for the first time. Dhund is a superb movie, not to be missed. The next movie I want to talk about came in 1970, and it was the first horror movie made by the first family of horror in India, the first family of horror cinema, the Ramsay brothers. And the movie is Doga Zameen ke Niche, starring Surendra, Pooja, Helen, and Imtiaz Khan. It's a superb movie. It's really not so much horror as it is a murder mystery. It doesn't have the supernatural elements in it so much as the later Ramsay brother films would have. This is more or less a straightforward murder mystery, but it is really gripping and spine chilling. It has some really scary moments, and it's a very good movie. Doga Zameen ke Niche was a hit when it was released for the first time, but over the years, people seem to have forgotten about it, and other Ramsay brother movies get spoken about much more than this classic. This is a movie, if you like murder mysteries, you should not miss. Doga Zameen ke Niche, directed by Shyam and Tulsi Ramsay. The next movie I want to talk about perhaps is one of the lesser known movies from this list. It's directed by Feroz Chinoy and is the 1974 movie Shaitan, starring Shatrughan Sinha, Sharmila Tagore, and Anil Dhawan. And Shaitan is this story about a serial killer who's on the loose, and he one by one starts killing women in the city. And Shatrughan Sinha is the cop who's assigned to the case to catch this killer. And it's a superb movie. It's a must watch. Not too many people know of it, but that's unfortunate really, because Shaitan is a good movie. And in case if you haven't seen it, do watch it, and you'll realize that it's a wonderfully gripping movie. Shatrughan Sinha, Anil Dhawan, and Sharmila Tagore in Shaitan. The next movie again is relatively lesser known. It's the 1971 film Ek Paheli, directed by Naresh Kumar, and stars Feroz Khan, Tanuja, Madan Puri, and Rajendranath in the lead roles. When I saw Ek Paheli, it was a movie that I knew nothing about, so it was a complete cold viewing. But as I went more and more into the movie, I realized that it was a gripping movie, and a lot of mystery, a lot of suspense and intrigue, and the end completely took me by surprise. It wasn't something that I was expecting, and it's a good movie. Do watch it. It's about this rich man's son who comes from abroad to settle in Goa, and he buys an old piano. And as soon as he brings the piano home, there are some mysterious events that take place, and there are some unexplained and mysterious deaths around him. And he keeps meeting this strange and mysterious lady from time to time, who warns him about the piano, about playing the piano. And how he unravels the mystery is what this movie is about. And as I said, it was one of the revelations for me, discovering this movie, Ek Paheli. It's unfortunately not very easily available. I am not sure whether YouTube has a link of this movie or not. If it does, I will put it up in the comment section for you to see. Or else you'll have to hunt for the DVD or VCD of this, which is quite rare to find. But it's a great movie, so do try watching it. Ek Paheli, starring Tanuja and Feroz Khan. Now the next movie I want to talk about was perhaps the last release of Uttam Kumar in a Hindi movie, and it was released, I think, after he passed away. And the movie is called Plot Number 5, and it's a murder mystery, and has Along with Uttam Kumar, it has Amol Palekar, Sarika, Pradeep Kumar, and Amjad Khan in the lead roles. And it's again a very well made movie. No songs in the movie. It's a tightly scripted, tightly paced murder mystery. And the unfortunate thing about plot number 5 is a good print doesn't exist. And since most of the movie is shot in the night times, so the print is quite dark and not very easy viewing in that sense. But it's a very good murder mystery. Do watch it. Whatever print, whatever quality of print you do get to see, but do watch it, because as a movie, as a murder mystery, it's a very good murder mystery. Plot number 5, starring Amol Palekar, Uttam Kumar, Amjad Khan, Pradeep Kumar, and Sarika. Very good movie. The next film in my list is from 1964 and is directed by Biren Nag and is Kohra, which was produced by Hemant Kumar and has Biswajit, Wahida Rahman, and Lalita Pawar in the lead roles. Now, Kohra was the follow-up film from Hemant Kumar after his super successful 20 Saal Baad. Unfortunately, Kohra didn't do very well at the box office, unlike 20 Saal Baad, which was such a super hit. But all the same, I think Kohra as a movie is a much better movie than 20 Saal Baad. It's based on the famous novel Rebecca, which was also made in screen by Alfred Hitchcock. But although it's a adaptation of the famous novel and the famous movie, on its own, Kohra is a very well-made movie. Superb performances by Biswajit, Wahida Rahman, and of course Lalita Pawar. And according to me, it didn't deserve to flop. It was really a well-made movie. A lot of suspense, a lot of intrigue, very gripping and beautifully made. Do watch Kohra, you won't be disappointed. It's a wonderful movie. The next film I want to talk about came in 1989 and has Rishi Kapoor, Kimi Katkar, Danny, and Nasiruddin Shah in the lead roles. And it's a movie directed by one of the Ramsay brothers, Keshu Ramsay, and is called Khoj. Now, Khoj is this superb suspense thriller about a man who comes to a hill station for a holiday and finds his wife missing. And not only is his wife missing, he also has to deal with the problem of another woman turning up and claiming to be his wife, who she obviously is not. And how he goes about solving this mystery of the disappearance of his wife and this new intruder who claims to be his wife is what the movie is about. And it's a superb movie. It's based on an English telefilm which was telecast in BBC. It's called One of My Wives is Missing, and it's based on that. But it's a superb movie. Great performances by Rishi Kapoor and Nasiruddin Shah, and it's a must-watch. It's got a lot of twists and turns and shockers, which I don't want to reveal. But do watch Khoj. It's one of the underrated mystery movies, which definitely deserve a second viewing. A great movie, Khoj, directed by Keshu Ramsay. The last film in my list came out in 1986, and unfortunately again didn't do very well. But that's sad, considering the movie is one of the best psychological thrillers I've seen, with stupendous performances by the lead cast of Nasiruddin Shah, Shabana Azmi, and Kanwaljit Singh. And the movie is Ketan Mehta's brilliantly gripping Shart. Shart came out in 1986 and, as I said, unfortunately didn't do very well. But, it's a movie you must watch if you like psychological thrillers, because this is one of the best psychological thrillers made in India. It's about uh, you know a serial killer who plays games with a cop who happens to be his old friend by leaving certain clues for him to unearth and try and catch him, leading up to quite a gripping and powerful climax. And Nasiruddin Shah's performance is simply mind blowing. He is absolutely awesome in the movie, and it's such a pity that over 35 years later, a good print of Shat doesn't really exist, and all you get is a pretty grainy and substandard print on YouTube. But something is better than nothing, so do make most of it while the print still is there to be found on YouTube. Do watch Shad. It's a superb movie not to be missed, starring Nasiruddin Shah, Shabana Azmi, and Kamaljeet Singh. A great movie, Shad. So these were my 10 favorite suspense and murder mysteries which I think are underrated. Do let me know what you think of my list, and do let me know if there are other movies which you want to add to this list. As I said, most of these movies are available on YouTube. Unfortunately, not all with very good prints, but something is better than nothing, so do watch them while they are still available. Some movies may not be there on YouTube. Unfortunately, you'll have to hunt for the VCD or DVD or check some online streaming site just in case you get lucky. But do try and watch them and let me know what you think of these movies. And also, if you feel, as I said, some movies which are not there in my list but should be mentioned, do write about them in the comment section. So that's it for this week, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you do see some of these movies mentioned in the list. And until the next time, bye for now.